So we're going to talk the conventional barbell deadlift. The deadlift is a little bit different from the bench press and the squat when it comes to our main compound exercises, because whereas those we start with an eccentric, here we start in the hardest position and start in the concentric position. So it's a little bit different. The setup is a bit more important than the other two for this exact reason. So as regards to stance, for most people, just outside of hip stance is probably best for most people. And we're just going to come down and find out where our active range is first. So to do that, easiest way I found is if Kev brings his hands onto his thighs for me. And I just want him to sort of come into a hinge, keep his hands against, and just see how far he can pull back. Now, if he gets to around about mid-shin for this, like he is here, he's probably good enough to go from the floor, because now you can just squat the remaining distance and get into that bar position. If you find it's about knee high or only just below the knee, you might find you easier to start up on blocks. This is particularly true for taller lifters who've got obviously a larger range of motion to get to the floor. This might be the same range of motion for them as someone who's a little bit shorter going from the floor. So just make sure your client is actually going through the active range of the deadlift and are loading what you want to load and not shifting load away from it just to get to the floor, because that's what we're told. So now in this position, key thing here, and this is really true when people have straps, we often find people get into bad positions trying to put straps on and then try to fidget into the right position. I think it's really important to get into it like you're coming down into a deadlift. And now you're in a position already where you just need to add the straps on and lock yourself in. Now, similar to an RDL, we want to lock in through here. And key thing is what we call taking the slack out the bar. What do I mean by that? If he pushes slightly into the ground, you can hear that clink into the bar. Now we've got everything locked in and tense, so we're going to brace all 10 beforehand, rather than just trying to launch it off the floor. This is much more safe, and we know we initiated from the muscles we want to work. Similar to any other RDL or deadlift variation now, the first thing I want to think about doing is pushing down into the ground like you're doing a leg press, and once he's past the knee, I want to drive his hips into the bar with a little bit of force to finish the rep. On the way down, we're going to think about pulling back into the hip, find out where his range is, and when he hits it, we're just going to squat into the last couple of inches. So get as much out of your hip as you can first before adding the squatting component, just so your knees aren't in the way.